This is going to be, I'm going to have to pause the tunes because we're going to talk about the Clayface. All right, so we got our first teaser for Clayface. Let's just kind of talk about the article real quick before we watch the teaser itself. Just the imagery looks so freaking awesome. All right, so James Gunn is clearing up how Clayface fits within the DCU following the release of the first teaser trailer. After fans question how a full horror movie can exist in the same universe as Superman, Lanterns, and Peacemaker, Gunn said that is exactly the point. According to Gunn, the DCU is designed to allow different creative voices, tones, and genres while still remaining connected. On Threads, Gunn responded when a fan asked at James Gunn, seeing that Clayface seems to be a horror film, is the DCU going to include more films of different genres other than the standard superhero action variety? Gunn replied, yes. From the start, we've been clear that the DCU would be interconnected, but each project would be full expressions of their writers and directors. Similar to how DC Comics work, Saga of the Swamp Thing, Justice League International, Killing Joke, and All-Star Squadron are not one tone, and neither are Superman, Lanterns, Peacemaker, and Clayface. The film or show will play in whatever genre suits the story best. Clayface is not a hybrid superhero horror film, rather. It is a horror film. That is the way you do that. Comic books are just a vehicle. They are not all-encompassing. You can't just pick up a book and know exactly what you're going to get. It is a vehicle. It's much like anime or manga or whatever. It's a vehicle through which you tell a story. The genre comes in when you're talking about what the story is. So, the movies should reflect that. If it's based on a comic book, is it a horror book? Is it just like proper prose literature? Like, it's the same concept. Anyway, Gunn says different tones are part of the plan. Gunn also addressed the larger question about how such different projects can exist in the same universe. He first posted, since the release of Clayface trailer, people have asked me, how is it going to work? One universe, different feels and genres? My answer is just like just like in comics, where different creative voices and visions inspire. We're just repeating ourselves at this point. Gunn doubled down again when another fan asked how darker villains like Clayface and Joker can eventually exist alongside Batman and Superman in future team-up movies. Gunn answered again, just like in the comics, different creative voices, impulses, and inspirations will drive each project. So while Clayface may look and feel completely different from other DCU entries, Gunn says that the variety is part of the plan, not a contradiction. Just like it should have been. Just like we've been talking about since Gunn took over and made well known that this was his plan. Like, that's the way it should be going. So it totally makes sense. Very connected. They're like, nope. One fan also asked Clayface where it is more standalone if every DCU project is part of a larger connected plan. Gunn answered, very connected, but also always the standalone story is what's most important. Which I don't know that he made that quite as explicit before. Because it seemed that... I mean, he did talk about each director and writing team getting to do their own voice. So I guess that was maybe implicit, but not very explicit until now. So there's that. It means Clayface will still matter in the bigger DCU, even as Gunn keeps the focus on telling a complete story that works on its own. Just like a freaking comic book does. So, like, it totally makes sense. Blowing up over here, man. Alright. Notable detail, as it means Clayface arrives after other DCU projects in release order, but earlier than the actual timeline. Clayface opens October 23rd of 2026. Yes! Let's go to the teaser trailer. Like I said, we're going to actually watch the dang thing, so... Make sure that we'll mute the music. Pause. Let's go. All right, look at that. That's so awesome. All right. Yeah, official teaser, baby. Let's go. We're going to have to pull this up in a whole nother window, aren't we? Sure shooting. What the heck? Oh, come off it. There. Now we go here. There. Dumb. There we go. All right. Hi, guy. That was loud. Whoa. Whoa. Hey, 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 hey. I want to go forward. That's screenshot. Where's my... I have the whole extra... Ah! Come on, meow. Right there. Look at that! So that feels like elements design-wise. I'm not talking explicitly like this is what they're going for with the story. Because we still know explicitly what the story will... how they're going to exactly incorporate him becoming Clayface. But this design-wise feels like they're grounding this. I just lost my train of thought. Whatever, continuing on. Oh, dear Lord. That's cool! That looks super CGI, especially with the YouTube compression. So it's probably looking even worse for you because you're on double YouTube compression. But it's not done yet. Are we getting an element of Joker? Because it's really hard to do something that's even remotely related to Batman, and the second you use a clown in the imagery, there's going to be the association of Joker? So, not too far off with that now. That's crazy. Oh, this is the shot that they talked about in the description of when we talked about it last time before this came out. Yo. Yeah, that looks cool. October 23rd, man. Hell yeah. I'm here for it. Let's go. Let's go.